Oh, hello there, and welcome back to the channel. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Make sure you go hit that subscribe button and turn your little bell notification thingy on so you do not miss when we post any videos. So today I'm going to talk about some things that will hopefully help you guys out in making purchase decisions like an older vehicle or just a new project in general. So the first thing we're going to talk about is price, and I recommend that you set a price range of $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, whatever your price range might be, and also factor in that parts. So if you're trying to build a 1,000 horsepower drag car, your parts are probably going to be a little bit more expensive than if you're doing a full-on restoration. Now, some vehicles, it could be the opposite. It could be cheaper to replace it with other things that aren't factory. Like if you're trying to do like a 69 Charger, like factory Hemi car, stuff like that, you're probably going to be spending a pretty penny on everything just because that's your type of build. You're doing a full-on restoration, numbers matching, or just 100% OEM original quality restoration. So once you set your price range, then you can start looking at the vehicles. Make a list of what you want: Camaros, Chevelles, Mustangs, Torinos, whatever it may be. You know, if you want a Fox body or an SN95 or like an O2 Cobra or something like that, make a list, narrow down your options, and then go ahead and just start searching. So search on Facebook, search on Craigslist, OfferUp, things like that. So, you know, forums on Facebook, let's say like Turbo Bullet and stuff like that, LSX, there's a couple on there. If you just type in LS swap this or drag car build whatever, it'll probably pop up with some type of forum or places where people are selling vehicles like rollers and stuff like that. So depending on what your build's going to be or what vehicle you want, go ahead and make a list and then start searching to see what's available. And that'll sometimes help you decide on a vehicle about the availability. So if they're very hard to find, you might want something that's a little bit harder to find just so it's more unique, right? So there's not a lot of 78 Camaros out there, but right now they're actually pretty plentiful and they're kind of popping back up. Like it's getting to that price range, or that time frame, I'm sorry, where they're getting more popular. Similar to what the 4th gen Camaros are doing. So set your price goal, find the car that you want, or narrow it down to 2 or 3 cars that you maybe want, and then look at parts. Look at the aftermarket support for that vehicle. Look at OEM parts, depending on, like I said, on your build. So full-on restoration, you need OEM parts. If you're doing a drag car build, you might not need OEM parts. You're probably just going to want aftermarket parts from Strange or from Global West or from Summit or Jegs or anything like that. So a lot of those places, a lot of cars have aftermarket support in certain areas, right? So on the Camaros, they make tubular front ends, rear ends, you know, obviously from Strange, bolt right in. Make aftermarket floor pans and trunk pans and OEM quality stuff, but they're also aftermarket. They've been reproduced, I should say. So you've narrowed down your price, you've found the car that you want to potentially buy, you've looked at aftermarket support for that vehicle. Let's say it's a plethora, right? So Fox bodies, there's parts everywhere for Fox bodies. Just how it is. And you know, it's funny because I see more LS swap Fox bodies than I see Ford swap Fox bodies. So it's just how it goes sometimes. But aftermarket support for those cars, huge, right? So that's a good example of what to look for in aftermarket support. So I'm talking about K-members, coilovers, front, you know, control arms, parachute mounts, seat brackets, engine swap brackets, transmission cross members, things like that. The next big thing, and probably the biggest portion of what you should look for, is rust, repairs, and you know, previous damage, things like that. So on the Camaro, when we bought it, I wasn't there when we bought it. Austin bought it by himself. He's never really looked at a car, an older car, to kind of see what to look for. And I used to work at my stepdad's auto body shop, so I kind of knew what to look for. I tried to explain it to him, but it's kind of hard to explain over phone or FaceTime, stuff like that. So not a big deal. The car was more solid than we actually thought after the floor pans had been replaced. There was no really rust in the trunk, just a few areas, but we already tackled that. The dash is done, the floor pans are done. None of the window trims, or you know, where the windshield and the back glass go, none of that is rusted away. So this is one of the tricks that I've learned over the years, and it's actually just take a magnet with you, right? So when you go to purchase a vehicle, take a magnet with you. It can be strong, it can be light, and go ahead and stick it to the car. You know, magnet, you know, body filler and body work is not magnetic. So as you can see, the doors are solid. Common spots for getting hit, or rear end, I should say. There's no excess Bondo, there's no body work, there's no previous damage, and I've already been underneath the car. That's another thing you knew. You can look underneath the car and actually see some crumpling of the metal. Even if it's flat out here, that just means they did a decent job of doing Bondo, but the inside is usually going to be all crumpled up or crinkled and stuff like that. So price range, found the car, found the parts for the car, found that the car is rust free or little to no damage to your liking. Now the next thing I would say is, how complete is the car? Are you buying a roller? Are you buying a supposedly running and driving car? Just because the car starts does not mean it runs. So that's some other things. If it's a running driving car, make sure you get it up to operating temperature and make sure you drive it around. So if the rear end's gonna make some noise, it's gonna make some noise when it's hot. Same thing with the engine, same thing with the transmission. If you got a really loud transmission front pump, the front pump, you know, it's gonna heat up and it's gonna probably get louder. So a lot of times, unfortunately, some people will like to hide this stuff from you just so they can get a better sale. So if you can pinpoint things that are damaged or need to be replaced from a running driving car, then you can probably knock them down on some price. Lastly, what I want to cover is how much money can you make off the car right off the bat. So depending on your build, if it's an OEM restoration or a numbers matching restoration, you're probably not going to be really selling anything off of the car. But like in our case, we bought a running driving 78 Camaro for $3,200. We sold the engine and trans for $1,400. We sold the rear end parts for $300. Still have the rear end. I could probably sell that for another 50 bucks maybe. Not really too worried about it. We sold, it came with two Holley 750 carbs. One of them needed to be rebuilt, the other one was fine. Sold both of those in a combo. I think I sold both of them for 200 bucks. We sold a MSD 6AL box with a Pro Billet distributor for another $300. And you know, and if you add all that up, we spent less than $1,000 on the car from what we made from it, right? So if we made over $2,000, let's say we made $2,200, we bought the car for $3,200. We got the car for $1,000 theoretically, right? After selling parts off of it and whatnot. So all that money went back into parts for the car anyway, so not like it really mattered. But so that's gonna be the end of the video, you guys. So I really wanted to make this video just to help everybody out, or help you guys out, you know, in making your next decision in a project car, or if you haven't even had a project car and you want to buy one, you know, hopefully this helps, or if it helps your friends or anything like that. So that's always what we're trying to do. We're always trying to help you guys out, kind of show you what to do before you do it, or kind of just, you know, watch along, see how we mess up or see how we do good and things like that. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.